Hello, online crew. I've got a very special guest with me for today's live. Please help me welcome Skylie. Skylie, welcome to my broadcast today. How are you?
Good. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
No worries. I wanted to bring Skylie on because Skylie is one of the students in my VIP mentorship program, and Skylie has done some great things in her business we've worked together for almost 6 months now. And I wanted her to share the difference that it's made in her business by working with me in the program and just realizing some things that perhaps she didn't realize before. And I'm hoping that some of you listening will get some sort of guidance or some information out of this that will help you understand maybe some things that you're missing or you didn't realize or what you might need sort of help with. So when I sort of first met Skylie, well, let's just say I'll let you share a little bit of your story, Skylie, but let's just say over the last almost 6 months, I think that you've come leaps and bounds with what you've been doing in your business and how you've been growing. And I hope that you sort of see that too. And I'd love you to share sort of your growth over the last few months in how you sort of used to see social media and how you see social media now, how you show up on social media, and sort of what's kind of changed with you mindset wise with how you build on social media. And I know there's some people listening to this that will really get something out of this message of what it actually takes and how you can pivot with certain things, and even just sort of getting organized and things like that as well, what kind of difference that makes. So would you like to just share a little bit about yourself, Skylie, with our audience?
Yeah, sure. So I think I'm of an age where I thought, social media was kind of Facebook, and I was like, I know how to do this. And so I had, before I met Helen, I was sharing things, what I thought was about myself, but I was really just telling people what to do and was kind of just selling and was just talking at people a lot, which was turning people off actually from wanting to connect with me altogether. So I think coming into this program, that's why I sort of realized, maybe this isn't quite the approach that I should be taking. And wanted some help really to learn how to grow the business. I was finding it difficult as well, having the conversations face to face around the business side of things. And there's only so many people in your sort of sphere of network. And I thought, well, this could be a good way for me to grow more broadly. And then suddenly realized, well, actually, there's a lot more to social media than I thought naively. And perhaps following somebody that's done amazing things already and getting some mentorship would be great. And, people have mentors for all aspects of their life, whether it's sport or, workplaces. And I thought, well, why not try this to help and see if I can actually grow some skill sets in an area that I actually needed help in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, as you would have learned, social media is a beast of its own. And we think we know what we need to do to get traction on social media, but we often don't realize what it takes, or we're not focused enough, or we totally get overwhelmed with all the things on social media. And I think you had a lot of experience kind of face to face, but didn't really know too much about how to navigate social media. So what are some of the things that you learnt in the mentorship program that you kind of weren't expecting, or that you realized, and it's like, oh, I didn't realize I should be doing that, or I've been doing this, which is not what I should be doing. I really should be doing that. So what's some things that you weren't expecting that you've learnt, over the almost 6 months?
Well, there's a few things in terms of the technical side, but I think the biggest thing was about just being me, being authentic. I really wasn't sharing. I was sharing very surface level stuff, and I was, very afraid of sharing things about my family or my children or personal things about me. And what I realized pretty quickly working with Helen was that for people to connect with you, they actually need to have a connection, and sharing a story often is the way that people can relate to you. So rather than just telling people, hey, do this thing that I wanted to share with people, because I think everyone would benefit from it, actually sharing what I'd been through actually was a way to connect with people. So that was the biggest thing, was just being authentic and being me, and just opening up to people and getting people then talking and having a conversation. So people then starting to reach out and, oh, wow, that kind of thing really resonates with me, or you're so it's great that you're sharing this with me. You know, something similar happened to me, and I just wasn't expecting those kind of conversations as well.
Yeah. So can you share, there was something you shared with me just recently about how people were reaching out to you and complimenting you on like the change in your content. Can you share some of those comments that you were receiving?
Yeah, I've had like family members that I haven't spoken to in a long time, and old school friends, you know, reach out and actually say, "Wow, thanks for sharing that. Like, it really resonated with me," and then that started a conversation. And so I've got a lot better as well using Helen's tips, using your tips, Helen, to use Chat GPT as well to sort of say, "Okay, I want to." Create a story about this, and I'll use some prompts to actually talk to it like it's a person, basically, and it will craft then this lovely story that I can go in and shape a little bit if I need to. But it sounds more human. And I know you always say, Helen, you know, be human first. And I think that has been a real shift in what I was doing before. So I've moved from just talking at people to, you know, sharing and really starting to nurture conversations and resonate with people.
Yeah, and if anyone listening, if you can take something from this conversation it is my motto, it's what I share all the time, be a human before a marketer. The only thing that's going to grab attention if you're on social media and you want to build on social media is that human connection. And you don't get human connection from talking about a thing. So I think like a lot of what you were doing, Skylie, is you were talking about a program and about things, but you weren't sharing the story around it. You weren't sharing what it meant to you or how it's changed, you know, for you, and just letting down those walls and sharing more of a story. So the authenticity of your content has changed dramatically. So well done for that. But it's just, you know, how is that, you know, like we've had some calls where I've dissected your content. We've done that just recently. Like I've gone through your Facebook, given you all that feedback. Like how have you found in this program the accountability, the feedback, the mentorship, the training, the you know, just getting all those skills? How, you know, how has that made a difference from you with how you build your business now from what you were building before?
I think it's like nothing I've ever gone through before, because not only have you got group regular calls twice a month where you can come in and hear what other people have been doing, and potentially learn some lessons from there, but ask questions as well around, you know, for my own business, being able to ask those questions. You've got specific training, like there's so much training that you've done, Helen, there that helps people with individual things, whether it's, you know, understanding TikTok or going into Instagram or, you know, just everything there, how to use prompts. So for me, that was invaluable. And then having one-on-one sessions, like how lucky are we that we can do that in this program directly with you to actually look through our, you know, social media accounts and actually pull out and go, that's really great, but you could have tweaked it like this. And so each time you've done that with me, that's helped me reposition it like, okay, that's really great. And even, you know, at the start when we're starting to think about content buckets, and things that we can post about, and then redoing, you know, for me, redoing my whole Facebook profile, and, you know, I hadn't set it public, you know, basic stuff that seems really silly now 6 months in, but how are people going to find you if you haven't actually got it on public? Oh, that makes sense. But if you haven't done that kind of stuff, so the way you set it all out and step people through really logically on this program just makes sense. And so for me now, looking at doing the program again for another 6 months, I feel like I've got those basic skills, that I can move forward. And I think the way you've set it up as well is that you tailor it to anybody. So people coming in already with some level of skill set to, you know, maybe advanced and already flourishing a little bit, but wanting particular areas, or someone like me that really had no clue, that's able to sort of jump forward quite a bit, because I think doing it on your own, like the accountability as well in this program has been so essential for me, because there's always, when you're by yourself, it's, I'll do that tomorrow, or something else jumps in, you know, family life. But actually, if you want this to be a business and you want it to grow, having those regular check-ins with you, has been amazing. And I think one of the key things as well for me was reflections. So we do a daily recording of yourself. It's kind of for yourself, really. I mean, it goes to Helen, but it's actually for yourself. And some of those things I really started to reflect on myself quite a lot. And I think that's helped with the shift, because you're being accountable to yourself, and really thinking about how you're tracking. And I think that's been another big thing, is actually learning how to track progress. It's really great to have a vision of where you want to be and goals and all those kind of things. But what you've done is help me break it down really well into, okay, well, what does the year look like? And what does that mean you have to actually do in the month? And then what does that look like in the week? And what does that mean you actually have to do each day? And suddenly I was like, my goodness, well, those goals, are they actually achievable? And if I want those goals, I have to do these things. And then how do you adjust along the way? So that really daily tracking was something that I definitely wasn't doing and have got a lot better at.
Yeah. And well done for doing that work. I mean, there's plenty of people that get a mentorship, but they just don't do the work, and you've done the work. So obviously the outcomes have been evident, and I've seen massive shifts in you. So for those of you listening, what we're talking about here is like the value of working with a mentor. I know some of you that won't be suitable for, some of you just will never go down that track, but I've never got to where I've gone in my business. Well, I wouldn't be where I'm at today without investing in mentorship. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars in that, and that's not, that's not what anybody has to spend here by any means, but it speeds up that learning curve, and it speeds up all the overwhelm. It speeds up, all the confusion, because you get that accountability. Like every week, there's accountability videos you have to do. There's an accountability tracker. There's calls that we have twice a month. There's one-on-one calls where I review your work. There's calls every month where I can review your work. Like having that kind of one-on-one kind of guidance with somebody that's already got runs on the board and, has proven to have success in the industry is sometimes what somebody needs, rather than wasting days, weeks, months, sometimes years going around in circles. So it's not been quite 6 months. It's close that been working with Skylie, and she's comes leaps and bounds because she's done the work. So well done for that. And as Skylie said, like we've kind of got to a certain point, and now we're going to take it to the next level to work together, for the next 6 months as well. But only twice a year do I open up this particular program for the next 6 month intake, and it's open at the moment to start again on the 1st of April. So if you're sitting there thinking, I need accountability, I need direction, I need review, I need mentorship, I need to increase my skill level, I need to cut through my own or get out of my own way, I need somebody to help me get through my own blocks, those kind of things, then just reach out or put VIP in the comments, or just send me a message so I can send you the information and see if it might be a good fit for you. It might not be, but the opportunity is there if you want to learn and grow and speed up that learning curve to work with me for 6 months. Now for you, Skylie, can you share a specific win or a specific breakthrough, that you're really proud of, since, from where you were to sort of moving through the program? I know you've kind of briefly touched on this already, but what's been the biggest shift for you, the biggest breakthrough, do you think?
Yeah, I've touched on a little bit, but I think the biggest thing for me was when I had a lead or somebody that was interested, I would back then send them an audio, send them like a whole lot of details, and be messaging, and usually people then would just stop responding. So it was really learning the art of conversation, so that human side again, so actually connecting with people, but going deeper, trying to understand, well, what is the problem? Why have they connected with me? How can I potentially help them with the problem that they've had? Maybe I've had a similar experience, and then trying to nurture that conversation to work out if we're a good fit for each other, and really just having a conversation almost like I would if I was talking to a friend face to face, but it's online. So we tend to do it in this odd, awkward way until you learn the skills that you've shown me, that actually you can just talk normally to people and build that connection, and learning how to leave, some voice messages as well as just, so people actually hear that human voice. So that has been the biggest shift, and I'm getting a lot better. Still a way to go, but people actually then continuing that conversation rather than like, whoa, way too much information in about 30 seconds,
Yeah. And I share this a lot in my trainings. Those of you that have followed me for a while, you know the difference. Like I share the saying, information versus emotion. And sometimes we're so quick with a lead to just give them the information that then, like Skylie was saying, is that then they ghost you. It's like that, it's too much. You haven't actually made a human connection with them. So there is a lot of skill in building this business. There's skill in the content that you put out there. There's skill in nurturing the leads. There's skill in organizing yourself. There's skill in keeping yourself accountable. There's skill in, creating content and mapping out that content and having a strategy to do with that content. Everything is a learnt skill. And we don't come into this business knowing all those skills. So you need to learn those skills. And you can do it the hard way and the long way, or you can invest and sort of speed up that learning curve. So if someone was feeling stuck or overwhelmed like you were in your business like 6 months ago, with social media going, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't even really know my brand. I don't know what content to put out there. I don't really know how to find leads, nurture leads, close leads. What would you say about joining a program like this to sort of cover off all those things from personal development? I mean, every month in the program, we cover a different topic. We start with personal development, but then we go into branding and content and prospecting and recruiting and all the things. Like, what would you say to somebody that's been spinning their wheels for, quite a number of months, maybe even years in their business, about the benefit of investing in mentorship like this, like you've been going through the last 6 months?
Well, I would suggest for me, if I hadn't of, I'd still be doing exactly what I was doing 6 months ago, because 6 months goes pretty quickly. And then, you hear and you think, oh, I'm glad that I did, for sure. I think the way that this is structured is like nothing else that you're probably going to find out there, in a way that you can achieve such a great amount in 6 months and really understand. There is a lot to get your head around. You think social media is pretty easy. I can do some posts and stuff, but you quickly realize you haven't actually got any followers and friends, and no one's actually engaging with your posts. So how do you move on beyond that? So I think anyone that's thinking about it, I would say reach out and have a chat, at least to Helen, and see what where you're at. The way the program's structured, as Helen just described, it really takes you through how to set up your branding, look at what your actual, how you market yourself, and then all the technical skills as well. And then the personal development and the growth has been amazing for me, but also the technical skills. And if you don't, the technical skills as well, you've got all of those modules there. Like the amount of modules is just amazing that Helen has. So you can go back, and so a lot of it's actually self-paced as well. So while there's a lot to do in the 6 months, I think it's really well structured that it doesn't feel overwhelming. I also work full-time, and I've got 3 children, and I've managed to navigate through and do all the work that was required. So I don't think it's too much work. But I also think if you want to invest in yourself, you need to prioritize certain things. And so, I'd often say to Helen, sometimes I'm prioritizing the wrong things, sitting on the couch and watching Netflix when I could be doing other things. And Helen would say, sometimes you've got to have a bit of downtime. Yes, but I think, if you want to succeed in any area of your life, you need to invest in yourself. So this is really well structured in a way that you're going to achieve a lot in 6 months.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate your feedback. And it's like you said at the beginning of this call is like, if you want to get anywhere in life, like think of as sport, sporting people have coaches. Like I still have mentors that I work with and I invest in, like at all levels. It doesn't matter what level of your business, you should invest in something to grow to the skill level. Like I've been through university, I've done degrees, started with accounting and then did a Bachelor of Business majoring in marketing and then went back and did law. Like I didn't have huge expectations of how I could achieve all of that in the real world without doing the training first. So many people come into this industry just with, I believe, unrealistic expectations of, okay, I've joined this business, I'll just go on social media, put up some posts, and then why am I not getting an engagement, and they get disappointed. It's because you haven't learned the skills of what it takes to create that content, show up in a certain way, build a following, have a personal brand, get yourself organized. All the skills that you need you can't just wing it in this industry if you want to really have some results. And take Skylie for an example. She works full time. And how many kids? 3, was it?
3, yeah.
Works full time, 3 kids. Like she's a busy mum and works full time, and she's still done everything, virtually that's required in the program and made heaps amount of growth. So it just goes to show it is possible. Even if you work full time and do other things. So I just want to say I'm really proud of you, Skylie, with the effort that you've put in, as busy as you are. I've seen the growth, even your confidence levels, like how you speak now to how you spoke 6 months ago, just generally and on social media, miles apart. So you've achieved a lot in a small amount of time, and anybody can do that. So again, I just want to reiterate, I only open my VIP mentorship program twice a year. At the moment, it's open for the 1st of April start date for the next 6 months. So Skylie's going to be one of them. She's continuing on with me, and I look forward to, skyrocketing your results over the next 6 months, Skylie. But if you would like some information about the VIP program, it's just a conversation. It's not an obligation, but I've got some information on what it entails, etc. So just drop the word VIP or reach out to me in Messenger or something and get that information and see if it might be a good fit for you. It's far better to invest and speed up the learning curve and give it a good crack with guidance and focused mentorship than being all over the place and wasting another 6 months or wasting another 12 months. And, from what you've been sharing, Skylie, I gather you've learnt a lot and achieved a lot in this 6 months, even being as busy as you are. Is that, that's a fair assessment?
Yeah, and if I could add, the analogy we're using about having a sports coach or a sports mentor, if you take somebody that's an Olympic medalist, often the person that's coaching them hasn't actually achieved an Olympic medal, but they're coaching somebody. And where I'm going with this is Helen's like number one lead in her business 5 months in a row, I think, Helen, 4 or 5 months in a row. Like, we're being actually guided by one of the best in the business. So I would say, jump in and give it a go, because 6 months down the track, you want to make that shift in the pendulum.
Yeah, thank you for adding that and your kind words there. I know what I'm teaching works because I'm in the industry myself doing it, and I am currently the number one enroller in my company in Australia, all of Australia and New Zealand, and have been for a number of months. So I know what I'm doing and what I'm teaching works. I'm able to look at what you're doing and guide you in that kind of same direction of what I'm doing, or looking at, what it is, evaluating what you do, and then, shift you into a new direction. So that's the value of having somebody that's actually in the industry doing the do, getting the results, is that, you're being mentored by somebody that's actually talking the talk and walking the walk. Is that the right term? You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining me, Skylie. And again, I'm really proud of everything that you've achieved. Look forward to the next 6 months with you. If any of you are resonating with this message and you're like, yep, I need to get out of my own way and just get focused and have a curriculum to follow for 6 months. Like, we have a focus for each of the 6 months. We have 2 calls a month. We have a strategy call and then a reviews call, so you can get your work reviewed, and high accountability. And sometimes you'll get a loving kick up the, what, if you need it. Like, that's what I'm there to do as well. Like, if somebody needs a little bit of a push, then I will give that to you in a loving way, of course. But some people just need that person behind them, giving them a little bit of a push as well. So let me know if you'd like more information about the program. As I said, it starts on the 1st of April for the next 6 months. So thank you, Skylie. Super proud of you. Look forward to the next 6 months with you, and anybody else that would like to join us for the next 6 months. Okay. Thanks, Skylie. Thanks everyone. Bye. Bye.